Thank you for tuning into another episode of the Traveling Hoopers podcast. I am your host, Alan Pettigrew. In front of me, virtually, are these two fine gentlemen, Calvin McGowan, Phillip Dixon. Go ahead and let the people hear your voice, guys.
What's up, y'all? Calvin McGowan here once again. As always, it's fun to be here.
What's up, y'all? I can't let it pass by that Alan just called me fine. So take that as what you will. This is Phillip Dixon, the one and only, aka Mr. Google Docs.
Nice. Bro, we friends on this podcast. We supposed to big each other up.
Well, not like that. You ain't gonna reach me. We beat you over that.
You clearly overthought that one.
Wait, who did?
Phil.
Oh,
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
100%. Like I'm not gonna deny that. But you said these fine gentlemen. I was like, this man calling me fine. Come on now.
Whatever, bro. Anyway, let's actually get into some NBA news. The only news that really matters in the NBA lore right now, that James Harden trade.
Mm-hmm.
What are your first impressions? Because, again, I'm excited.
They're gonna be better off with Kyrie out than they will be Kyrie playing.
Elaborate.
Two people. Okay, so two people, ball dominant people. Kevin Durant can shoot off the dribble. Kevin Durant can shoot off the catch. James Harden can shoot off the catch with the dribble. That's fine. That's fine and dandy. But out of the three, who's going to be the person that sacrifices? If there's three, if there's two people, you don't need the two people aside. You don't need either one to sacrifice. They can still and win like they did with James Harden got his 40-point triple-double and Kevin Durant went off scoring. But if you add Kyrie into that, do you think Kyrie's going to take a back seat again in his career? Like, mentally? No way. So I didn't think, like, they're in James Harden? No. Because at the end of the day, James Harden still wants to be a bucket getter. He was a six-man at one point, and he left because he ain't not trying to be a six-man again. He's not trying to be a back seat to a big three again. And then Kevin Durant, he's come back off injury. No one wants Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant can't take a backseat to anybody. Like we saw that once he played with the Warriors. So who is going to take a backseat to those three? They're much better off without Kyrie than they are with Kyrie.
That's quite the take. I'm not sure if I agree or not. Like, because that kind of makes sense. But also, like, if memory serves, Harden left OKC because they didn't want to pay him. Like, that's more or less what it amounted to.
Yeah, but he left OKC because they want to pay him. He left, goes to Houston, becomes a megastar in Houston, goes off in any statistical category that's not including defense. And with that being the case, he's not going to want to regress down to where he began. You know what I mean? Kevin Durant has always been a superstar in terms of, like, offensively in the NBA. And he's, a stud, the greatest offensive player we've ever seen. James Harden, he won't regress back to what he came from, essentially being the third wheel of a relationship between Kevin Durant and Russell Westbrook. And then Kyrie, he left Cleveland because he didn't want to be no one's young boy. He didn't want to be no one's son. So he left there, and he's the one to go back to becoming that also. So I don't know who would mentally be able to retract back. And if you have a big three, someone, or if you want a successful big three, let me say that. Someone has to take a back seat. Someone. And offensively, with the Boston Celtics, Kevin Durant took a back seat in comparison to everybody else offensively.
For Celtics?
Yeah, for Celtics, right? Offensively. Chris
You
Bosh.
said Kevin Durant.
For the Celtics?
Yeah, you just said Kevin Durant.
Or Kevin Garnett. Too many Kevins in this league. But Kevin Garnett took a back seat offensively for the Boston Celtics in 08. But neither one of all three of them aren't defensive studs that they can make up for on that end. Chris Bosh obviously took the back seat for LeBron James and Dwayne Wade. So, and I'm pointing out the successful ones because I don't think this matters if they're not going to be successful. If they're successful, then someone has to take a back seat. I don't see anyone being able to do that to a significant amount to where it wins them a championship. To where it wins them a championship.
Okay. So first off, what I will say is that I have some concerns about it because in order to get Harden, the Nets basically had to get rid of all their depth.
Mm-hmm.
I like Dinwiddie is out for the season. He got hurt. That's just the thing that happened. LeVert
It's the thing
is
that happened.
a pacer now, I think, but like he's out indefinitely because they found something on him with an MRI. But like they don't have Dinwiddie, LeVert. They don't have Jared Allen, who they traded, like who they moved in the trade.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Which is the most idiotic move of all time. But continue.
like they have one center, a crap ton of guards, but like between all their guards, and unless you consider Harden a point guard, they have a grand total of 2 point guards, one of whom is Irving, and like hasn't been showing up to work, even though like I'm assuming he's gonna play at some point.
Rumors of like where he's been?
So apparently he was out one point partying with Drake, and like he was supposedly he was also on like some sort of call about social justice while like the Nets were playing a game or something.
Does he? It's like he wants to be like. Does he want to be like a Dennis Rodman type? Like, did he watch The Last Dance and say, "Hey, Dennis Rodman got to skip practice. I got to skip practice too." And then, but like, also he wants to be like a social, not I don't want to say a social justice warrior, but he wants to be a person who is influential in social justice means. Because he bought the Floyd's family a house right today. You read about that? So like he did that today. That's interesting because he did that today. Who is this man? I don't know who this man is. Actually, no, I'm thinking about it. This man got no consistency and fluidity in his thought process. I can't read him. I can't read this.
Hasn't he been telling us he doesn't truly? And I don't mean to say this in like a bad way or that he doesn't like love the game, but he's been telling us for years that this game isn't the most important thing in the world to him.
Yeah, but like he's never missed time or practice while saying these things. So like, yes, he said these things, but like he's not showing up now. But that's never been the case before.
Yeah,
injuries, but like he's always shown up.
Well, I guess if I was gonna have a criticism though, right, is like not like this like it's great to care about social justice and whatever, but and like I'm not trying to downplay that at all. But like you can do both, right? You can show up to work and like take an off day to like do a Zoom call about it or like go and protest with people or something. And then like come back tomorrow and hit whoever up for 35 and like 6 assists and like just go on about your business in your off time or whatever.
Is he like very intelligent?
Yes. Kyrie's super smart, but he's super smart in like if you look at his personal history, and I don't mean this in like a bad way, like you look up like upbringing and whatnot, it kind of shows you some not like weirdo behavior, but if somebody did have a moment where they kind of buck the rules, it would make a lot of sense.
What do you mean by his upbringing? Like growing up as a kid, or like during the time in the league or college, or what?
No. Growing up as a kid.
I mean, he came from like a middle class family, right?
Yeah.
His dad played basketball. Am I wrong about that?
No, you're right about all those things.
So like, cause like, I'm always curious because like I've known for a long time that Kyrie had like other interests outside of basketball.
Yeah.
But I never thought he like was using basketball as like a means to an end. Like I'm using basketball to do other things. But like I'm curious like what other things does he want to do? Because like he sounds like if I hear about Kyrie, I hear him talk, whatever it is, an intelligent guy. Then he'll like do certain things or like say like flat earthy things sometimes. I'm like, are you intelligent? Like you might be smart, but are you intelligent? Because there's a difference. And I get that he's smart, but is he intelligent? I'm not sure. I'm not going to say he's not, though, because I'm not going to be like, he's not intelligent. But I wonder if he is.
Yeah. I personally just don't like psychoanalyzing players, so I really can't give like a good answer.
But he's like forcing us to. I don't want to either, but he's forcing us to psychoanalyze him.
But we don't have to talk about it, though. Like, we can talk about the fun thing, which is him on the basketball court. I don't know anybody else.
We can talk about the fun thing. We can talk about the fun things with him on the basketball court, but he's not on the basketball court. Because so we have to psychoanalyze. Why is he on the basketball court?
Let's talk about the things that we're actually like seeing. Like, this is the first time that we have a big three where it's all like ball handler type players.
Yeah, it ain't gonna work.
Why wouldn't it? Realistically speaking, after hearing Calvin describe the roster, what its makeup is.
Yeah.
In all the other big threes, you had role players where you kind of had to, you got to kind of give them the ball.
That's not necessarily. No. The Heat was not that way. The Heat was not that way. The Heat was not built that way.
What I mean, kind of give them the ball, if the role players didn't have like a decent game, there's a chance that the Heat weren't going to win.
Okay.
And
you're saying that's not the case with the Nets?
I am saying that right now because who do they have on their bench outside? Shoot, Joe Harris starts. They don't really have a bench. They don't have any other players. The amount of shots that you would normally have to distribute is completely different this time around because there's only really 3 dudes that can go get you, that will create you offense.
Calvin, who's on the bench right now for the Nets?
All right, let me pull it up.
Okay, because now I'm curious, like who's on the bench? Because after these trades, like I'm not quite sure who's on the bench anymore.
They ain't got nobody. Right. Think about it. Dinwiddie's out. LeVert's gone. My bad, Calvin. Go ahead.
No, you're good. It's like, as far as like point guards, the only other point guard they have is Chiozza, I think, who I want him to be successful, but like he's on a 2-way contract. Okay, so this is the current roster for the Nets. Bruce Brown, Chris Chiozza, Nicholas Claxton, Spencer Dinwiddie, Kevin Durant, Jeff Green, James Harden, Joe Harris, Kyrie Irving, Tyler Johnson, DeAndre Jordan, Timothy Lawawu Cabarro, I almost certainly mispronounced his last name, Reggie Perry, and Landry Shamet. And Perry's a rookie.
Yeah. So I'm hearing a bunch of non-ball handlers and shooters.
Which is like
not good at all as far as like a basketball team, but as far as somebody needing to take, let's say 3 people needing to take 55 shots a game.
But when does
it's very doable where everybody can touch the ball. It's going to be plenty of shots in this because there's nobody else that needs the ball besides those.
Yes, it's just hard that they all play the same. Kevin Durant just posts up every so often, which makes it different. But like they all are dribble ball handlers who can shoot off the dribble or who can shoot off the catch, but really don't. And they dribble a lot. So I would understand this if they all played a different role in the game, but they all play the exact same way.
But they've all 3 shown us that they can play somewhat off ball, or they can play next to a superstar.
Yeah,
James
a superstar.
We've seen it from James Harden, but they've all 3 proved it.
But James Harden wants to put up big numbers like he has. Kyrie's gonna want to come back and put up big numbers, and then Kevin Durant has to also. When has that ever worked? That 3 players have had that.
When have we ever had?
So, one, like, it's just going to be interesting to watch. But also what I'd like to say is, like, it's not a championship team, right?
Oh, yeah.
Regardless of how most people think about it, whether you think they can reach the finals or not, and, like, I'm not convinced. Like, it's not a championship team because, like, there's not enough defense. Like, there's just not. And, like, there's not enough defense. You have, 3 big men on the roster, kind of, and only 1 actual center. You only have 2 point guards, and again, like one of them's went on a 2-way contract to start this season. And like the thing is, but like if it's going to like work at all, like as I'm thinking about it, as we're talking about it, the only way it will work is if like James Harden has to give up points, because I don't see Kyrie doing it, right? Like you, how do I phrase this? Kyrie is the dude who has to think that he is top dog, right? That he's the guy.
Yeah.
And like if he doesn't, it's just gonna create needless problems.
Yeah.
So like the dude to give up points it kind of just has to be Harden if it's gonna be anybody at all. But like it's gonna remain a fairly high powered offense just because they're offensive players. And like Harden's a better passer than Kyrie. Like I just feel like if there's somebody to take a backseat in that regard, it's gonna have to be Harden because Kyrie just isn't going to.
That's so unfortunate because James Harden is the most versatile offensive player they have, versatility wise. He's much more versatile than everybody else. So it's kind of annoying that he has to take a back seat in comparison.
Well, it's like the thing is though, I think you can still take full advantage of his versatility and like have him hoist fewer shots up per game.
All right. Realistically speaking, how many minutes a game do you think all 3 of these dudes are going to be playing together?
35.
Yeah, it's gonna like.
You think it's going to be 35 minutes for all 3 of them on the court?
It's gonna have to be for them to win anything.
Yeah. Yeah, like.
And they all can do it too because they're used to playing big minutes anyways. So they're gonna have for them to be successful. It has to be that way. It has to.
Bro, I feel like for it to be successful, like you're going to have to stagger at some point. Like I could see them playing at least 8 minutes together in the fourth quarter when they really need it. But if it's like you guys are saying, if it's as much of a problem to have all 3 of them on the court at some time, don't somebody gotta like run the bench unit?
You are correct, but like, who's willing to come off the bench?
I'm not even saying like all 3 of you can start, but that's when we get into like staggering the minutes. So like James Harden, about 6 minutes into the first quarter, come sit down, and we have the Kyrie KD show, and then we switch somebody out accordingly. Because they're going to have somebody on the bench. Because Chris Chiozza, who'd you say? Bruce Brown, Speedy Claxton, Timothy Lowe Caparo, and somebody else. If you can't have those 5 dudes on the court together. And let's say the 5th dude is DeAndre Jordan. Like
in fairness, like they were able to like beat the Knicks. I'm not sure how high of a bar that is to clear though. But
they beat the Knicks and the Magic. Those aren't like super impressive wins, especially after Markelle Fultz went down. Like those wins are losing value.
I'm trying, like at this point I'm just trying to offer some hope for like the players off the bench because they didn't do anything to get here. Like they're just here now, and they're gonna, and like unless like the Nets make some moves to try and bolster the bench somehow, like
with what
these young players are kind of just gonna have to show up, like on the regular.
With what draft capital? They're going to have to get off. What's that? Waivers? Like that's where they're going to have to pick up most of their players, like random free agents. Maybe down to the G League bubble.
Like, this is what happens when you do too much to get 3 superstars, and still don't know if you're going to win. You give up too much. Like when you do it, you got to do it in smart ways, and they arguably didn't. You know, they gave up way too much.
You don't have to argue they didn't.
They gave up way too much on Harden. It is what it is. But like, imagine having a team with Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving going, we need another piece.
Yeah.
Like you shouldn't really shouldn't need another piece with those 2 players.
Hey, can I ask you a question? How much do they really give up? Like outside of their future, which Unless you're a Nets fan. Unless you're a Nets fan, you don't care about their future. I don't care who they draft. 2026 OKC. I'm here all day. Throw all your draft picks away. But outside of LeVert,
Jarrett Allen. I think that was the stupidest move they could have possibly made to keep DeAndre Jordan and not him. Like, why? Like, that was an idiotic move.
In fairness, if I'm the Rockets, I wouldn't have taken. Like, I would want Allen. I wouldn't want Jordan.
But but it's a smart move. It's a smart move for the Rockets. It's a smart move for everybody else.
Yeah.
But it's not a smart move for the Nets itself.
Not correct.
But how much did Jarrett Allen move? I know he was marketably better than DeAndre Jordan. I can give you that all day. But how much did he move the needle for their defense? I know they look completely different because DeAndre Jordan is not what anybody is used.
He's the most under-average big man I've ever seen. Like, he over here, Roy Hibbert, except more athletic. Trash.
Oh, you disrespect.
That's disrespectful to both players, honestly.
But outside of Jarrett Allen having some legendary blocks, I don't really know the numbers or the true impact that he had on the defensive end for that team. And I'm not saying he's not a good defensive player or he's not a good rim protector. That team just...
He's a good rim protector.
Good on defense.
He's a good rim protector, but when the other center is just your best player's boy, then you can't do anything about that. You know what I mean? They own you. It's like, it's what it is.
So, like, to this point, through 12 games with the net, this season, Allen was averaging 11 points, 10 rebounds, and 1.6 blocks.
Hey, what DeAndre Jordan numbers looking like?
Let's see.
Wasn't that man starting at some point too?
Yes.
Yeah, I think he was starting over Allen for some reason. Okay, so DeAndre Jordan is averaging 4.3 points, 6.8 rebounds, and 1.2 blocks.
Lob City DJ, ladies and gentlemen. Lob City.
That is that's some garbage numbers.
Yeah.
That's like straight like off the sidewalk pedestrian numbers.
Oh, that's disrespectful.
Is it not? 4, 6, and 1? Come on now.
In the NBA?
No matter how
you said pedestrian.
Listen, no matter how you move it around, if you have a player, doesn't matter what crucial stat it is, and you say, hey, what he average? 4, 6, and 1. No matter what those 4, 6, and 1 are, that's garbage. Come on now. No matter what
it's not good, but like, let's be real, pedestrian would not do better. They just get their feelings hurt the entire game.
Listen, you should be doing much better when you have Kevin Durant, Kyrie, and Kyrie on your team. You should be mad open. Mad open. But guess what? He boo-boos.
They also got to pass you the ball, though.
He don't get the ball passed. He don't even got no post moves. He better just get off of the board. He getting boards. He getting putbacks from their misses and still getting 4 points. Come on now. That's all your whole job is to do putbacks. Putbacks and offensive rebounds and get fouled and hit a free throw or two or whatever it is. And you still getting 4 points on average? That's disgusting.
Oh, like but that brings up the point though. Like one of the reasons why I don't think they're like a championship team is just like, again, the defense and no big men for real. Like they have Jordan, but like he's not the Clip. Like he's not like he was playing for the Clippers.
They can't beat the Lakers. Look, can it be Lakers? No. Can it be the Clippers? No. They can't beat these people. People like they're the hype train. They're the modern day. They're the 2021 hype train. Everybody get on. Choo choo. They ain't beating nobody of any substance in the playoffs for 7 games because they have 3, 2.5. I don't know what you want to count Kyrie as. They have 3 phenomenal players offensively. That's it. That's it. No one else. Trash.
Hey, I like y'all takes. I really do. I don't think y'all are respecting what we're experiencing right now.
Oh no! Like it's gonna be fun. Like it's all off. But like remember, but like again, like I mentioned this to you. I think yesterday. My concern is like your your two best players, two of the best players in the league, combined for what, like 74,
Mm-hmm.
and like who is it? Like they just barely beat like what was it, like the Magic or something?
Barely.
Like it's a 7 point win,
Mm-hmm.
and like it's like all right, you add Kyrie, and that's wonderful. The offense is now more high powered than it was like then, but like I feel like that offense isn't gonna get you over the hump of like better teams.
No way.
I agree with you. And like I was saying yesterday, have you ever played a pickup game where the three best people in the gym are on the same team and how fun it is to watch, especially if they're really skilled?
Yeah.
That's what we get to see. Like I've always wanted to see this type of talent together, and we're about to get the only chance we'll ever get to seeing all offense, like a team that just focuses on offense.
So you won't.
And
So you're going. So you want to have fun watching basketball. You don't want to have fun. You don't want to have fun watching basketball as along with winning.
Well, like the Nets isn't his team though. Like it's not my team.
I'm not rooting for them, and they have
For them.
even for the beginning of the season, they have shown me that they are not going to win the title, but they're going to be fun. When we first saw that they got two bigs, and one of them is DeAndre Jordan. When we saw that at the beginning of the year, we should have been like, okay, you didn't come to compete this year, but you're going to be fun to watch. And they're just more fun to watch now. Maybe 2022, they can get a big. Maybe they go talk to Andre Drummond or something. Get somebody in that can rebound. But if not, we about to have like two of the best on-ball scorers ever, and the best ball handler the game has ever seen. We will be entertained.
If the argument is, are they going to be fun to watch? I agree. The argument is, will they win? I say they'll make the playoffs, obviously, but they won't win a championship. So I think we just agree. Right now.
Yeah. What's the second thing we wanted to talk about?
Me. Let me go off. So useless stats. Listen, don't let ESPN, Fox Sports 1, all of those, media conglomerates try to finesse you that about what stats matter and what stats don't matter. Because most of the times they'll find any kind of stat that matters, right? Or they'll find any kind of stat and they'll masquerade it as if it does matter. The most recent one was how Luka Doncic passed Michael Jordan up in triple doubles. Phenomenal, whatever. If Michael Jordan ever tried to get a triple double, Michael Jordan didn't try to get triple doubles, and Michael Jordan does not. That was never his MO, right? That's a Magic Johnson thing. So let's compare Luka Doncic and his playing style to Magic Johnson, not Michael Jordan. That stat does not matter at all. But these kind of places always do this. Whoa, so and so was the first person to do 30 points, 9 rebounds, 6 assists, 1 steal. Wow, that doesn't matter. That doesn't matter. Like, doesn't matter because if you want to go down that train of a person, that person was the first person to get this amount of points, this amount of steals, this amount of rebounds, this amount of assists, also while shooting 35%. Like, you can do that for almost every game. Like, if a superstar is playing, like, those stats don't matter. In basketball, only specific stats matter. Only specific stats being compared to other people matter, right? Now we have all these. You got to fill up space on first take. You got time. That. Who cares, right? But you can't fall prey to the stats that actually don't matter. One stat that has always bothered me that doesn't matter is how they were saying, "Whoa, LeBron James LeBron James scored this amount of time or this amount of points at a much younger age than Michael Jordan. Duh. One went to college, one didn't. You can't get like that's a good comparison if you're making the comparison of somebody else who came out of high school, but you can't do it with Michael Jordan because Michael Jordan was in college. Like you can't make these comparisons, like the youth comparisons of when a person they have to be similar when a person came out of the league, when a person or when it has to be similar between two people who came into the league approximately at the same time, and that always happens. But when you bring up Michael Jordan's name, people always want to compare these stats to Michael Jordan's stats, even if it's stats that Michael Jordan didn't care about. And Michael Jordan wasn't going for these triple doubles. Michael Jordan, oh my gosh, he scored this many amount of points quicker than Kareem did. Yeah, Kareem's in college for 4 years. What are you talking about? You can't make the comparison. But these are the kind of stats that don't matter. And all in ESPN, Fox Sports, whoever it is, The Ringer, they always come up with stats that actually, at the end of the day, if you're playing basketball, don't matter whatsoever. Unless you're in Jeopardy one day. But most of us won't be. R.I.P. Alex Trebek.
I mean, in fairness, Jeopardy doesn't even keep up with that stuff. But like a lot of it doesn't matter. I think it's interesting to talk about for like it helps on slow news days, I guess. Like so and so is only the second person to do this since the last like Hall of Famer who did it in like 3 years ago or something.
Yeah. Like, some stats are fun. So somebody's like, oh, LeBron passed up this person in scoring. LeBron passed up that person in scoring. That stuff's fun because they both made it to the NBA. Okay, you pass this person in scoring, pass this person rebounds, assists, whatever. That kind of stuff matters. But when they start getting way more minute than that, that's when stats start to get skewed about do those matter or do those not matter? You know what I mean? And LeBron James has finally made it to the point to where he's doing stats or he's accomplishing stats that like matter. But most stats don't matter when you carry LeBron James to him because LeBron James' like situation was so much more different than everybody else. You know what I mean? Michael Jordan had a broken foot. He went to college. Like he missed a whole year where he's in the NBA. LeBron James just never got hurt. He never got hurt. He came out of high school. So, of course, his stuff's going to go faster. Has he accomplished it? Yes. But, of course, stuff's going to be faster. He's going to be younger. LeBron James, the youngest player to do this. No, duh. No, duh. But let's have some stats that are comparable to other people who just happen to go to college. Like, that's like a lot of these stats don't matter. And you just see them every day, and it frustrates me.
Well, like in fairness, I think that's a bit more about like keeping track of super obscure records for some reason than like
tell me,
it being.
Don't tell me about them.
I really expected the history dude to like things like
that. Listen, unfortunately, it's this. This is a phenomenal up and coming player. We're going to find an obscure stat to just put out there so we can talk about them. That's what it is. Like, oh, we want to talk about Luka Doncic? Well, it's Tuesday. What did Luka Doncic get last night? Luka Doncic was the first person to get 30, 15, and 1 steal with 1 rebound in the first so-and-so minutes of the... What? But they want to figure out... They want to bring to light some random stats they can talk about these certain individuals. For the record books, these obscure stats, they matter. Not record books, but like for the historical documents, I guess, whatever. These records matter. I don't care. Don't tell me. Don't have a headline that says these things as if they do matter. Put them in the record books and find something else interesting to talk about. Like, if you watch basketball, you can watch any basketball game and figure out something interesting to talk about. You'll need to. But that's what happens when you have these analytic people who never hooped before in their lives doing major sports broadcasting.
I don't even think it's analytics. I ain't gonna let you get on the analytics crowd like that. Don't
I mean,
care about that.
it's fine.
That is just unique. That's a content need.
I mean, what's that fat dude's name on ESPN who always on LeBron James' jock? Fat white dude. He's always on like the jump and what's his name? He's all he. I can't even. I don't even know. You know what I'm talking about?
I don't know if you're talking about. I really don't want to give you a name because of the way you said it.
Well, he's fat and white. Fat. White.
I can only think of like two dudes.
Basketball.
Brian Windhurst and Kevin O'Connor.
Is it Brian Windhurst? Yes, it is. It's that man. Like, that man rarely says something that is of importance. He rarely says something that is like a good take. But he's one of those people that just puts out there these stupid statistics and stupid facts that he just. I'm like, man, you ain't a hoop. You look like the basketball more than a player.
Out of pocket.
Right? A bully. A bully.
All right, you're right. That was out of pocket though. Like, I don't know. I wasn't thinking. I was saying I wasn't thinking.
That's Brian.
I mean, I just don't like the way he plays basketball. It is what it is. But yes, a lot of these people tend to do the kind of things, and it just kind of bothers me.
All right.
I typed in fat white ESPN basketball.
You see that?
I was trying.
Calvin, you usually give us a rundown on this week's news in basketball. What are some games we should be looking for?
I actually haven't done my list of games I should look at. So I'm vaguely unaware. Also, let me double check. I think it was someone on the who was it? Oh yes, okay. So apparently the Cavs are expected to trade or release Kyle Porter. I mean not Kyle Porter.
Yeah, Kevin Porter.
Yeah. Because apparently he got hot about the lockers, like something with the lockers, like they gave Torian Prince his locker or something. Like, yeah.
Get him out of here.
That's messed up.
Yeah. And so, he got hot. I didn't read too close on it, so I don't know the specifics, but yeah. So apparently after that, they're currently they folks are expecting them to try and like move him, basically.
Oh, really? Well, if you can't, I don't even know what to say about that. I'm gonna lie to you. I have no idea what to say about that. I haven't even heard Kevin Porter's name forever.
I thought, when was he? I hate to say it like this. When was he good?
He was always a good player. Look,
Yeah.
he was like a right under All-Star, whatever that is. Really good role player. That's what he was.
Who?
Kevin Porter Jr., right?
Yeah, Kevin Porter Jr.
Yeah, right. He was like a really good role player.
All-Star level.
No, I say under that.
When did he get under that?
He's always been a really good role player.
He hasn't been in the league that long, I thought.
Exactly. He's been in the league like 2-3 years.
Yeah, you could be a really good role player in 2-3 years. What are you talking about?
This is second year in the league.
What'd you say?
In Cleveland?
Year in the league.
Wasn't he the one with the goggles?
No.
No.
I don't know who that man is. Who am I talking about then?
Not a clue.
Somebody Junior. Not Michael. Who is it? It's
Cal, go ahead while he figure out his answer.
Wait, was I saying something?
Yeah, I'm saying something.
No, he was done talking, and then we had to react to what he said.
I don't remember what I was saying, honestly.
You weren't saying anything. We were just literally reacting to what you were saying about the team releasing him.
Phillip don't know basketball. He don't know who we talking about.
You're right. He trashed.
I mean, he had a decent rookie season in fairness to it. Like 10 points a game. So like, it's probably not going to be that hard for them to move him. He's a promising young player.
Well, I heard they might even waive him.
Yeah, like they're going to try to move him or like waive him.
That's disrespectful. You ain't gonna waive me. You gonna trade me, nigga.
I mean, in fairness, they put him on the waiver. Someone's probably going to pick him up.
Yeah. Whatever. You gonna trade me? Yeah. And no, I'm not going for no second round pick.
Yeah, you are.
Tell somebody go give me a first round pick. Make me feel good about myself.
How do you feel about the Bucks so far?
I'm gonna be real with you. I have not watched any NBA basketball in the past 2 weeks. I've been so deep in the St. James high school basketball bubble. I can't tell you nothing that happened in the NBA. Outside of that trade, I ain't got nothing for you, baby.
So okay. That's
I'm basically in the same spot as him because I was watching with him a lot of those
exactly.
games.
Well, good thing you guys mentioned this at the very end of this conversation, so people could take our conversation seriously. I didn't even watch it.
But like so far, the Bucks seem to be doing all right. They're 9-4, sitting with the best record in the Eastern Conference.
Yeah, that's true. Well, they're going to the NBA. Okay, y'all ain't even watch it. I don't gotta tell you nothing. They good. They doing good.
Look, you're the NBA reporter. Calvin is the college reporter. I am the high school basketball reporter. I did my job.
Did you?
Well, then I guess I'm slacking. Other than like, there's some recruits in high school basketball who look really good.
Exactly.
LaMelo Ball is doing really good.
Yeah, I heard he kind of like clicked. He can't shoot worth a lick, but he's a really good playmaker.
He's first for all rookies in points, rebounds, and assists.
But he's talking like he can't shoot though.
I mean, you can
false narrative.
He's doing lead the league in scoring and not shoot well. You just have to take a lot.
Right now it's 35%.
Yeah.
From three. From three. Okay.
He's doing 40% from the field.
That's good for a rookie. That's good, and he's first in points, first in assists, first I think in steals and rebounds.
I would just like to point out though that like first in points, at least going off of basket reference, is about 12 points a game.
He's coming off the bench.
It changes nothing. It changes nothing.
I mean, I'm saying he's doing his thing.
We still need Wiseman to win Rookie of the Year, though.
He won't.
So he don't look really bad at.
If LaMelo keeps doing his thing, he won't. There's no way.
Yeah, no.
It's too much of a name, and he's doing like good. So Wiseman's also doing really good, but LaMelo Ball's name's too notably big.
Right. I saw a video that said LaMelo Ball has turned the corner, and I was like, this man been playing NBA basketball for like 3 weeks. What do you mean turn the corner?
Highlights, man. Of course, that's a stupid thing.
What's going on? Like this is 7 games. Like we was out on him after like 4. Okay.
These white people are.
I mean, like he's also a ball. So like there are a bunch of people who want him to fail because his dad talked a lot of shit a couple of years ago.
White people.
Bro, imagine holding that grudge almost like 4 years later. Like that's a whole college degree of grudge. Like let it go. Like he ain't even said nothing for real in like 2 years.
Listen, sometimes when it's a confident black man, people just don't like it. Like it is what it is.
I need Lonzo and LaMelo to become all-stars. And then I need LeVar to pop up on the All-Star game and just do. You remember how Shaq in his last All-Star game he was dancing with the Jabberwockies? I need LeVar to do that.
See, the issue is, well, LaMelo will be like, they're two all the way around. They're not 30 points, 20, 15 rebounds, 8 assists like that, or not 8 assists, 12 assists guys. The issue is their whole family is like, or both of them at least, being LaMelo and Lonzo, are 16 points, 9 rebounds, on average, obviously, 9 assists, 2 steals, one block. Like the issue is like they get their stats are all across the board, but none of them will like, be gigantic, and like that won't get you an All-Star game. Awesome, like
it worked for Draymond.
yes, but Draymond also just happened to be on the one of the greatest teams of all time, so that's a little different. It's a little different. Lonzo is not playing with Stephen Clay, and LaMelo obviously is not playing with Stephen Clay. So like it's all circumstance. Yes, it worked for Draymond, but I don't want to get into that man.
Didn't it also work for Rondo?
No, but look at Rondo's triple double numbers when he was getting All-Star picks. Rondo was over here in prime. Rondo would legitimately have 30 points, 20 rebounds, 18 assists. Like it was the nuttiest thing ever. Like those triple doubles, Rondo's triple doubles were nuts. They weren't real numbers.
I still dream about that. I know this ain't got much to do with anything. I still dream as he made Ray Allen, where he was coming through the lane. You just gotta.
I mean, the spin move behind the back.
It's beautiful pass.
Yeah, Rajon Rondo was over here taking on like the Heat LeBron James teams and getting better stats than almost all of them. Like overall stats. It was nuts. And he couldn't shoot a jump shot at the time. How? You know a man go to the rim, but you can't stop him? That's so nuts to me. But so Draymond Green's numbers would be a little more comparable, except their numbers are going to be better than Draymond Green's overall. And they're going to, but Draymond Green's having to once again play for the greatest team of all time, or one of them at least, or statistically in a regular season, the best team of all time. So, it's a bit different, but I don't see them making All-Star games. LaMelo might one day, but like it's not going to be anytime soon. Yeah, but remember that one year when everybody voted for the whole entire Golden State team starting five to be the All-Star game, and then the league was like, no. The league was like, nah, that's not like. Sometimes the league just like will step in and Chris Paul to the Lakers, that whole situation.
Still upset with Petrolia. That's not even a good joke. That's a waste of your vote. Stop.
That's their fan base though. They're ignorant.
Look, we ain't got an All-Star game this year, so we ain't got to worry about that. Thank Jesus.
Who says thank Jesus about not having an All-Star game? I'm trying to. First of all, no, people got to stop disrespecting Zach LaVine. Speaking of All-Star Weekend, in my head I went All-Star Weekend dunk contest Zach LaVine. Okay, I have to make sure everybody got that. He's nice. Zach LaVine is nice. And I remember when he first got drafted, people were like, "Oh, he's gonna be a backup point guard for his whole career." Nope. That man can be he can't be your first best player, but he for sure can be your second best player in your team and win a championship.
You think he's second?
He can be your second, yes. I think he's highly I think he's kind of disrespected, even though his game is like a really like popular style of game. I think he's like disrespected in how like good he actually is.
I mean, it helps when your team wins. Like to get your respect.
That's why I said number 2, because he cannot be number 1, because we all see what's happening when he's number 1. Number 2, that's it. He'd be number 2 behind a really good number 1.
In fairness to him, it's not his you can't fault him. He's tried.
Yeah. I agree.
That is also true.
He be getting buckets. He's still striking me more as
he's
still
nice.
striking me as like a third option on a really good team though.
No, because
you're not gonna be able to stop him from scoring 20. And that's his
thing. To nobody. He got the Kyrie mentality. He not sitting back to nobody.
Oh yeah, he ain't got no ring then. Let's go ahead and get out of here. Thank you guys for tuning in to another episode of the Traveling Hoopers podcast. Again, I am your host. Signing out. Go ahead and let my friends do the rest.
Once again, I'm Calvin McGowan. Always wonderful to be here. If you're watching this on YouTube, like, share, and subscribe. And leave something down in the comments. If you're listening to this on like wherever you can listen to this, wherever podcasts you listen to your podcast. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed it.
Once again, this is Phillip Dixon. Always glad to be here. If you're watching on YouTube, like, subscribe down below. And yeah, I can't remember the rest of the speech Colin gave.
Oh, I do have a question though for people leaving stuff in the comments. How far do y'all think that the Nets will go in the playoffs?
Those poor people.
Once again, Calvin McGowan. Hope you enjoyed yourself. Um, if you are watching on YouTube, like, share, subscribe, leave something in the comments. Um, you can also listen to us wherever you listen to podcasts. If you made it this far, once again, thank you. I hope you got a lot done of whatever it was you were working on while listening to this. And yeah, enjoy the rest of your day.